Hello and welcome to another video for Minus Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today, well, we're looking at something that's now very old, very collectible, and is becoming harder and harder to find, especially in this almost mint condition book. We are looking at the 1967 release for the upcoming 1968 year of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Annual. And it is the full authorized edition, and it was released by World Distributors. Now, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was obviously an American spy fiction television series. It was produced by MGM and was first broadcast on the NBC network. Now, the series follows the special agents Napoleon Solo and Illya Kuryakin, played by Robert Vaughn and David McCallum, respectively. And they work for a secret international counter-espionage law enforcement agency called U.N.C.L.E., which stands for United Network Command for Law and Enforcement. The series first premiered on September the 22nd, 1964, and it ran until January the 15th, 1968. Now, there was a total of 4 seasons, and in those 4 seasons there was 105 episodes of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. produced. So ran from September 27, 64 to January 15th, 1968. However, 15 years later, David McCallum and Robert Vaughn reunited for a movie which was called Return from The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and it was called The 15-Year Affair, and obviously it was set 15 years after the TV series ended. However, unfortunately, Leo Carroll, who played Alexandra Waverly, had died, so obviously he wasn't available to play the part of Alexandra Waverly in the movie. So the role was replaced or played by Patrick, not the same role, but an alternative was played by Patrick Mooney, who was also known for John Steed in the Avengers. Basically, he was then in charge of U.N.C.L.E. There was also a few cameo appearances. George Lazenby, obviously from James Bond, Her Majesty's Secret Service movie, the only one that he was in. He made a cameo appearance in there. It was kind of like a tribute to Ian Fleming. And he was, he was identified by a secret agent with the initials JB. And he's also seen driving James Bond's trademark vehicle of the time, the Aston Martin DB5. And then one of the characters identifies him as saying that he's just like on Her Majesty's Secret Service, which was obviously the Bond film that George Lazenby started. Anyway, let's not diverse any further. We're looking at The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Annual, and this is it in front of us. So this is The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Annual, authorised edition, starring Robert Vaughn as Napoleon Solo and David McCallum as Illya Kuryakin. Leo G. Carroll plays Alexandra Waverly. And there you can see images of Robert Vaughn as Napoleon Solo, David McCallum as Illya Kuryakin, and Leo Carroll as Alexandra Waverly. Okay, that's the front of the cover. Let's turn it over. What have we got on the back? Well, it's the same kind of images as what was on the front, actually, the artwork images, but they're in blue instead of in red. Nothing else to see on the back. Let's have a quick look at the spline. And it says The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Annual, and you've got the World Distributors at the bottom there. Okay, that's the covers. Let's open it up and let's see what we got inside. Okay, so I've opened the annual, and this is inside the front cover, and it says United Network Command for Law Enforcement, which is obviously U.N.C.L.E. It says The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and it's got annual. There's an artwork image there of David McCallum. And at the top here again, you've got Leo Carroll as Alexandra Waverly, David McCallum as Illya Kuryakin, and Robert Vaughn as Napoleon Solo. And it says contents: The Hydrofoil Affair, The Gilded Face Affair, The Confidential File, The Big Timber Affair, Secret Agents and all that, Travel with U.N.C.L.E., The Calamander affair. If you can find it, read it. Jet Dream and her stunt girl, Counter Spies. The Chinese Pagoda affair. Spies Through the Ages. The Roman Scandal affair. The Spirit of St. Louis affair, Part 1. The Mighty Antagonists. Profile of a Spy. Uncle May Need You. The Grey Beard affair. Judo for You. The Flea Circus affair. The Spirit of St. Louis affair, Mark Part 2. Underground Heroine and the Gadgetry of Uncle. And it gives you all the acknowledgement, stories and features by Douglas Empher, Kevin McGarry and M. Broadley. Cover artwork by Ronald W. Smithers and story illustrations by Edgar A. Hodges. Copyright 1967. 1966-1967 by Metro-Goldwyn Inc. All rights reserved throughout the world. Published in Great Britain by World Distributors Manchester Limited and their address, and by arrangements with Western Publishing Company Inc. in the USA, and printed and bound in England by Gerald and Sons Limited, Norwich. And you've got the cover price at the bottom right hand corner there of 10 shillings and sixpence. Which is what it was back in 1967. Okay, turning over. The very first story is the Hydrofoil affair, and that is a full story with colour illustrations, and that runs good illustrations, I must say. I think that runs for 6 pages, yep. And then we get on to the Gilded Face affair, and again, it's a full story with colour illustrations. Great illustration of Alexandra Waverly and of Napoleon solo there. Terrific artwork, I think. And that runs for 2, 4, 6, 7 pages. And then we got the confidential file on Uncle Agents, Napoleon solo and Illya Kuryakin, top secret. This document must not be removed. Property of United Network Command for Law and Enforcement, and so on. So that's the file there, although you never get to see, you're opening up the file now in actual fact. So personal file on Uncle Agent Napoleon Solo and personal file on Uncle Agent Illya Kuryakin. And then we got the Big Timber Affair, which is a monocolour story. Not full colour anymore, so we've gone over to monocolour now. But again, good illustrations. And it's 2, 4, 5 pages. And it's Secret Agents and All That by Kevin McGarry. And that's all about secret agents, I would imagine, and gadgets and so on. And it's got Travel with Uncle, and that shows you the Dinky car. Was it Dinky? No, Corgi. Sorry, Corgi. Manufacturer of the Uncle Thrashbuster car. The Kathmandu Affair. Again, we're in monocolour. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages in monocolour, but again, terrific artwork again, even though it's in monocolour. Very, very good artwork. And if you can find it, read it. And that's all about something to do in the First World War. And then we come on to the first comic strip story, which is Jet Dream and her stunt girl, Counter Spies, and it's the Super Tiger of Targan. And that runs for 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. Again, good artwork. And then we're on to the next Uncle story, a Chinese Pagoda Affair. And then we're back into full colour illustrations again now. And that runs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. And again, terrific artwork. Spies Through the Ages, a history of spying. And then we got the Roman Scandal Affair, which is the next story. Again, we're in full colour illustrations. Again, fantastic artwork. And we're running for 3, 4, 5 pages. And then we come on to the next comic strip, which is the Spirit of St. Louis Affair. Full colour comic strip here. And again, fabulous artwork. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 pages. Oh, terrific comic strip story that is. Then we got The Mighty Antagonist, Uncle Against Thrush, a caseless fight for the security of the entire world. And it says, Defender of Freedom, Uncle, object to protect the welfare and interests of people and nations anywhere in the world from the forces of organised evil operating on an international scale. And then it goes in to give you Uncle, organisation and sections. And then we've got the arch enemy of freedom, which is Thrush. And this all continues in then Profile of a Spy. And Uncle May Need You. A bit like Your Country Needs You. The Man from Uncle Needs You. Anyway, The Great Beard Affair is the next story, and it's back into monocolour. Again, nice artwork, great illustrations of Napoleon Solo and David McCallum, Robert Vaughan and David McCallum, Illya Kuryakin. And that's 2, 4, 5, that's 6 pages. Judo for You, and that's all about the martial arts sport. And then we come on to The Flea Circus Affair. And again, it's in monocolour. And again, illustrations just fabulous. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. Look at that, great artwork again. And then we come on to another comic strip, which is The Spirit of St. Lucia's Affair, Part 2. And again, we've got full colour comic strip story, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pages till that story comes to an end. Terrific story that is, and its artwork is fabulous, and it is quite a nice length story. Underground Heroine is the final story at the back page before we come round to the Gadgetry of Uncle, which is on the final side of the page and the inside of the back cover. And that brings us to the end of the annual. Okay, now, how well did these annuals do back in 1967 on their release, I hear you ask? Well, what can I say about annuals back in the 50s, 60s, 70s and the 80s? They were huge. Because there was no such thing as videos, live streaming, DVD, anything like that. For you had to watch your program when it was being broadcast. Otherwise, you missed it. Now, most of the programs did go on to reruns, but it might be a short time later. It might be years later before it was re-shown. Those episodes were rebroadcast. So if you missed your episode, it was a problem for you. And also, when the show was off air, what did you do? Well, along comes someone with a bright idea saying, okay, let's produce annuals with stories, original artwork, original stories, and with original artwork, information, articles, features, games, all based on your favourite television programmes. And obviously, this annual was no different. They were mass produced back in the 1960s, and boom, away they went. And anybody who was like the Man from Uncle TV series, spy thrillers and things like that, the kids would always wake up on Christmas morning and find an Uncle annual in their stockings or their Christmas sacks. In fact, whatever you were into, whether it's a Man from Uncle, whether it's Star Trek, whether it's Doctor Who, whether it was your favourite football club or your favourite pop star, there was pretty much annuals for everything during those times. It was a huge market for all of the annual manufacturers. And in actual fact, then they started doing the paperback books midway through the year. I don't know if they call them comic books. I can't remember what they called them now. But they did do thinner books that was released around about Easter time. Whereas the annuals were always released towards the end of the year for the upcoming following year, and so they were available for Christmas. So pretty much everybody got an annual in their stockings or their sacks on Christmas morning. And this was no different. This was a very, very, very popular TV series, and I think overall there was 5 Man from U.N.C.L.E. annuals produced, and they all done remarkably well. Okay, let's move forward. Almost from 1967 to 2025 as we are. That is 58 years on. Not quite 58, 57 years on since this annual was released. Do they appear very often on the platforms? Well, you can find these annuals on the platforms. They do pop up, I wouldn't say regular, but they do pop up from time to time. Obviously, as the years roll on and time moves on, they are appearing less and less. You used to find them to a penny. Go back 10, 15 years ago, they were everywhere. But nowadays, obviously, time's moved on, people have bought them, and they've ended up, I don't know what's happened to them, but there's very few that appear regularly on the platforms nowadays, especially in this condition. Now, this one is in absolutely fantastic condition. I wouldn't say it's mint, but it's probably as close to mint as what you're likely to find nowadays. There's hardly any signs of wear. There's a tiny little bits on the top and bottom corner, but that's it. Other than that, it's pretty much immaculate. There's no scratching, there's no wear and tear on the front cover or the back cover of the spline, and inside there's no markings, there's no tears, there's no writing, no inscriptions, nothing. It is in absolutely fantastic condition. And with annuals and comics and things like that and books, it's all about condition. So the better condition, you know, when I collect my annuals and I collect my comics and books and so on, it's always got to be about condition, and they've got to be in very, very, very good condition or near mint condition for me to collect them. Otherwise, I'm not interested. So on the platforms, you do, when they do come up, you do get a variety of different conditions. So do have a good read of the condition of the item you're about to buy, because some people's idea of very good could be somebody else's idea of acceptable. And not to mention, some of the platforms use stock images and stock descriptions. So do be a little bit careful on those, and do, if it says used on it, click it and read what you're about to order, because it's going to be different to what the stock images and stock descriptions are saying. So do be a bit careful. Now, we at Midas Touch, we don't believe in stock images. We don't believe in stock descriptions. What you actually see on our website and in front of you, incidentally, is exactly the item you will receive should you wish to purchase it. If we have a different condition and the same annual with different conditions, they are listed under separate products. So you will not order something that you don't want. What you actually see and read about is the item that you will receive should you order it. And this particular item, as of now, is available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many, many other vintage Man from U.N.C.L.E. items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I am absolutely positive that this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you are looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know, the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful 1968 The Man from U.N.C.L.E. annual with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.